I'm standing backstage at Channel 7, and my hands aren't shaking. That's how I know I'm doing the right thing. My husband's about to get blindsided on live TV, and I'm the one holding the grenade. Through the curtain gap, I can see Marcus, my husband. Well, soon-to-be ex-husband, but he doesn't know that yet. He's sitting on that cream-colored couch under the stage lights, grinning like he just won the lottery. In a way, he thinks he did. Local businessman featured on the morning show's Community Champions segment. His big moment, his chance to look good in front of 50,000 viewers. My chance too. Just not the way he thinks. The backstage smells like hairspray and coffee. There's a makeup artist touching up someone's foundation in the corner. A camera guy adjusting his equipment. Normal people doing normal work, completely unaware that they're about to film something that'll have 20 million views by tomorrow. I check my reflection in a nearby monitor. Red dress, hair done, lipstick that cost more than I usually spend on a week's worth of groceries. I look good. Not supportive wife good. More like woman who's about to ruin your whole career good. The producer, a woman named Sandra with a clipboard and an energy drink addiction, touches my elbow. You're on in 2 minutes, Mrs. Chen. Remember, walk out when David introduces you. Sit next to your husband, smile for the camera. Oh, I'll smile, I say. She doesn't catch the edge in my voice. Nobody ever does until it's too late. I smooth down my red dress. Not the navy one Marcus suggested this morning. Not the respectable wife dress. The red one. The one that says I'm done playing small. The one that makes me look like I could weld your life back together or burn it all down, depending on what you deserve. This morning, when I was getting dressed, Marcus walked into the bedroom and frowned. You're wearing that? He asked. I thought we agreed on the navy one. Something more professional. I changed my mind, I said, zipping it up. But red is so attention-grabbing. Today's about the business, babe. About community service. We want to look humble. Humble. From a man who cheated because his ego needed feeding. From a man who wanted a wife who'd fade into the background so he could shine brighter. Trust me, I told him, checking my lipstick in the mirror. This dress is perfect for today. He didn't argue. He never does when he thinks he's winning. Marcus thinks I'm nervous. He texted me from the green room. Baby, you'll do great. Just talk about how proud you are of me. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Like I'm the simple one. Like I'm the one who needs instructions on how to be a person. My phone is in my purse. The manila envelope is in my other hand, crisp and official. Inside, 43 pages that say our marriage is over. 43 pages my lawyer prepared over 6 weeks while Marcus thought I was taking a pottery class. I was taking a class, actually, just not pottery. Divorce Law 101, courtesy of Linda Ramirez. The kind of lawyer who wears stilettos sharp enough to stab a man's ego. Linda, who told me, honey, if you're going to blow up your life, make it count. Make it spectacular. So here I am, about to make it spectacular. David, the host, is wrapping up his intro, and joining Marcus is his beautiful wife of 8 years, Jade Chen, who's been his partner through building his business from the ground up. That's my cue. I step through the curtain. The lights are bright. The audience applauds. Marcus stands up, all teeth and charm, reaching for my hand like we're the perfect couple. Like he didn't spend last Tuesday night in a hotel room with his marketing consultant. I take his hand. I smile. I sit down right next to him on that cream couch. Let me back up. You deserve to know how we got here. I met Marcus Chen 9 years ago at a Home Depot. I was buying a new drill bit. He was buying flowers, sad-looking roses from the grocery section, looking completely lost. I remember thinking he was cute in that helpless puppy way some guys have when they're trying to do something thoughtful but don't have a clue where to start. Those roses are half dead, I told him. He looked at me, then at the flowers, then back at me. They are? See how the petals are brown at the edges? Those been sitting there for a week. If you're trying to impress someone, go to the actual florist 2 blocks down. They've got fresh stock. He grinned. I'm trying to apologize, actually, to my mom. Forgot her birthday. And just like that, I was charmed. A man who wanted to apologize to his mother. A man who could admit he screwed up. Green flags everywhere, right? Wrong. So wrong. But I didn't know that yet. We dated for 10 months. He was attentive, thoughtful, He remembered that I liked my coffee black with 1 sugar. He showed up to my apartment when my car broke down with a toolbox and YouTube pulled up on his phone, ready to learn how to fix it with me. We fixed it wrong, but the effort counted. That was Marcus in the beginning, the man who tried. The man who showed up with takeout on nights when I worked late, who rubbed my sore shoulders after 12-hour shifts, who looked at me like I was the answer to a question he'd been asking his whole life. "You're so grounded," he'd say. "Everyone else I've dated was so high maintenance. You just get it. You understand what real work is." I should have heard the warning in that. Everyone else was high maintenance meant he didn't want to put in emotional effort. You understand real work meant he liked that I didn't ask him to show up the way I showed up. But I was in love, and love makes you stupid. Makes you miss the signs, makes you think you're special when really you're just convenient. I'm a welder. I work at Morrison Industrial, fabricating steel frames for buildings that'll outlast all of us. It's hot, hard work. My hands are scarred, my arms are strong, I can torch cut through 1/4-inch steel like it's butter. And I can read blueprints better than most engineers. Marcus loved that about me. Or, he said he did. "You're so different from other women I've dated," he'd say. "You're real. You don't care about all that shallow stuff." Translation: I was useful. I could fix things. I didn't ask for expensive dinners or jewelry. I split checks. I didn't need taking care of. What I didn't realize was that he wasn't looking for a partner. He was looking for a cosigner. Someone to share the rent, someone to make him look stable when he pitched his business idea to investors, someone to work overtime so he could chase his dreams while his feet stayed firmly on my paycheck. We got married at City Hall. My idea, actually. I thought it was romantic. Just us. No fuss, no expensive wedding that put us in debt. His mother cried, but not happy tears. She wanted a big wedding. She wanted him to marry someone from their community, someone who spoke Mandarin fluently, someone who fit her idea of a proper daughter-in-law. I am not that. I'm 3rd generation. I barely speak 5 words of Chinese, and I wear steel-toed boots to family dinners because I come straight from work. She tolerated me. Barely. At our first holiday dinner, she served me last, put the best cuts of meat on everyone else's plates. Asked Marcus, in Mandarin, thinking I wouldn't understand the tone even if I didn't know the words, if he was sure about me. I caught divorce, an American girl, and the disapproving cluck of her tongue. Marcus squeezed my hand under the table. "Don't worry about her," he whispered. "She'll come around." She never did. But I kept showing up, kept trying, kept pretending I didn't notice the small cruelties. Because that's what you do when you love someone. You swallow the poison and smile. Marcus launched his business 3 years into our marriage, Chen Digital Marketing, his dream. I worked double shifts to cover the mortgage, while he worked 18-hour days building the company. I believed in him. I believed in us. When he said, "Baby, just give me 2 years and we'll be set," I gave him 2 years, then 2 more. Then 2 more. The business took off, finally, clients rolled in, money started flowing. Marcus hired a staff, rented an office downtown with a view, started wearing designer suits and talking about scaling and synergy. I was still welding, still coming home with burned clothes and tired bones, still covering most of our bills because he needed to reinvest in the company. "Once we hit our first million, I'll pay you back everything," he'd promise. "You'll see. We'll take that trip to Japan you've always wanted. We'll buy a real house. You can even quit your job if you want." I didn't want to quit my job. I liked my job. What I wanted was a partner who saw me as more than a bridge loan. Then came Ashley, the marketing consultant. 26 years old, fresh MBA, legs for days, and the kind of confidence that comes from never having to work a day of real, dirty, bone-tired work in your life. Marcus hired her 6 months ago. "She's brilliant," he said. "Really gets the digital landscape." I should have known then. Should have seen the way his eyes lit up when he talked about her ideas. Should have noticed how many late client meetings started happening. Should have questioned why his shirts suddenly smelled like perfume that wasn't mine. But I trusted him. I'm a welder, not a detective. I build things. I assumed he was building too. I was wrong. I found out 3 months ago. Not from him, not from Ashley. From a receipt. Marcus left his jacket on the chair, asked me to hang it up. I checked the pockets first, habit from years of finding screws and bolts before doing laundry, and pulled out a hotel receipt. The Riverside Inn, room 304. Check-in at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. The same Tuesday he told me he had an all-day conference in the city. My hands didn't shake then either. I stood there in our bedroom, the bedroom I'd painted myself on a Saturday, the IKEA bed we'd assembled together, the life I'd built piece by piece, holding a piece of paper that proved it was all BS. Not the whole marriage. Just the part where I thought we were a team. The part where I thought I mattered. I remember looking at myself in the mirror. I was still in my work clothes, steel-toed boots unlaced, jacket stained with metal dust, hair pulled back in a ponytail. I looked tired, old, used up. Is this what he saw? Is this why he needed someone younger, shinier, someone who didn't smell like burnt metal at the end of the day? I could have fallen apart right then, could have crumpled to the floor and sobbed, could have ripped up the receipt and pretended I never saw it. But I didn't. I could have confronted him right then, could have thrown the receipt in his face, demanded answers, cried, screamed, thrown his stuff on the lawn like they do in movies. But I'm not a movies person. I'm a blueprints person. You don't weld a structure without a plan. You measure twice, cut once. You think about load-bearing points and weak spots and how everything connects. So I made a plan. First, I confirmed it. I'm not proud of this part, but I went through his phone when he was in the shower. Sue me. Texts to A. Morrison, not even trying to hide it with a fake name, just her actual contact. Messages like, "Can't wait to see you tonight." And last night was incredible, and I wish things were different with us. I wish things were different with us, like I was the obstacle, like I was the thing standing between him and his happiness. Screenshots, email, deleted sent folder, put everything back like nothing happened. Then I called Linda Ramirez. Linda's office is above a Vietnamese restaurant in the old part of town. She's 50-something, divorced 3 times, and according to her website, she specializes in making cheaters pay. Her walls are covered with thank you cards from clients who call her a miracle worker and a savage. "So your husband is cheating," she said when I sat down in her office. Not a question, a statement. She'd heard this story 1,000 times. Yes. And you want a divorce? Yes. And you want him to hurt? I paused. Did I? Yeah, I did. I wanted him to feel a fraction of what I felt when I saw those texts. When I realized 8 years of my life, 8 years of double shifts and believing in his dreams, had been for nothing. When I understood that I was never the prize, I was just convenient. Yes, I said. I want him to hurt. Linda smiled. Not a nice smile. A shark smile. Good. I can work with that. We spent 6 weeks building the case. I documented everything, his spending, his trips, his lies. Linda explained California's no-fault divorce laws, which meant I couldn't use the cheating against him legally, but I could use it socially, professionally, reputationally. Your husband is all about image, Linda said during one of our meetings. She was drinking coffee from a mug that said, "Good vibes only," with a cartoon middle finger on it. His business depends on being seen as trustworthy, reliable, a good family man. That's his brand, so we hit the brand. Won't that make me look vindictive? I asked. She leaned back in her chair, studying me. Let me tell you something, Jade. You've spent 8 years making yourself smaller, so he could look bigger. You worked double shifts, so he could play entrepreneur. You smiled through family dinners where his mother treated you like garbage. You gave and gave and gave, and what did you get? A hotel receipt and a broken promise. So vindictive would be burning down his office. This is just consequences. There's a difference. He made choices. You're just making sure those choices have weight. I thought about that. About the difference between revenge and consequences. About how many times I'd swallowed my anger, my hurt, my exhaustion because speaking up would have made me difficult. I'm tired of being quiet, I said. Good, Linda replied. Quiet women don't change anything. The plan came together when Marcus got the call from Channel 7. They wanted to feature him on Community Champions, a feel-good segment about local business owners giving back. Marcus was thrilled. This was his moment, his chance to be seen. My chance, too. I need to be on that show with him, I told Linda. They'll want you there anyway, she said. Supportive wife makes him look better. They'll probably ask you to come out halfway through. Perfect. What are you thinking? I told her. She laughed so hard she had to take off her glasses and wipe her eyes. Jade Chen, she said, you are my favorite client of the year. Hell, of the decade. Let's do it. The envelope was prepared, signed, sealed, ready to be delivered. All I had to do was show up and smile. Back to that cream couch, under those lights. Next to Marcus, who's holding my hand like we're the perfect couple. David leans forward, all professional warmth. So, Jade, Marcus has told us about building his business from scratch. What was it like supporting him through that journey? Marcus squeezes my hand. Warning? Encouragement? Doesn't matter. I look at the camera, at the 50,000 people watching, at the future that's about to crack wide open. It was educational, I say. David chuckles, not catching the edge. How so? Well, David, I learned a lot about sacrifice, about working double shifts while your partner chases dreams, about what it means to be a foundation, strong, invisible, taken for granted. You know, the boring stuff nobody sees. The audience shifts, a few uncomfortable laughs. Marcus's hand tenses. He's sensing something's wrong but can't quite put his finger on it. I keep smiling. David tries to redirect. But it must be rewarding now, seeing the business thrive. And I learned something else, I continue, cutting him off smoothly. I learned that some people will take everything you give and still want more. Still go looking for something shinier, something easier, something that doesn't have welding scars on her hands. The audience is quiet now. You could hear a pin drop. David's smile has frozen into something plastic. In my peripheral vision, I see Sandra backstage making frantic gestures at the camera operators. But they're not cutting away. Of course they're not. This is gold. Marcus tries to laugh it off. Honey, what are you? I turn to him. Look him right in the eyes. Let him see that I know. Let him see that this is deliberate, calculated, earned. I'm talking about your affair, Marcus, with Ashley Morrison, your marketing consultant. The one you've been sleeping with for 6 months at the Riverside Inn, room 304 if anyone's curious, while I covered our mortgage. The audience doesn't just gasp. Someone literally screams, "Oh my God." Someone else starts clapping, then stops when they realize that might be inappropriate. A woman in the third row has both hands over her mouth, eyes wide. Another woman has her phone out, already recording, because of course she does. This is going straight to TikTok. Marcus's face goes through a whole rainbow of expressions, white, then red, then this weird grayish color like meat that's gone bad. David starts to say something, but I'm not done. I reach down and pull out the manila envelope, hold it up for the cameras, for America, for every woman who's ever been told to smile and play nice while her world falls apart. These are divorce papers, I say, my voice clear as a bell. Signed by me, witnessed by my lawyer, ready for your signature. I figured since you love being on camera so much, since you wanted everyone to see what a great guy you are, I'd give you the chance to sign them right here. On live television, in front of God and everybody. I set the envelope on his lap. It sits there like a bomb. Marcus is frozen. His mouth opens, closes, opens again. No words come out. You're the one who taught me about branding, I say. About image, about making a splash. So here's my splash, Marcus. Here's me, the supportive wife, the woman who welded together a life while you were out there looking for something more exciting, handing you the consequences of your choices. The camera is still rolling. David looks like he wants to cut to commercial but can't move. You cheated for the thrill, I say. My voice is steady, clear, for the excitement. Because I was boring. Because I was just the welder wife who paid the bills and didn't ask for much. Well, here's some excitement for you. I stand up. Smooth my red dress. I'll give you 2 options, I say. Sign them now, on camera, and we can both walk away with a little dignity. Or don't sign them, drag this out, and I'll make sure everyone you do business with knows exactly what kind of man you are. Your choice. The silence in that studio could crack glass. Marcus looks at the envelope. At me. At the camera. At the audience. 50,000 people watching his world crumble in real time. His hand shakes as he picks up the envelope. Jade, Don't, I say. Don't apologize. Don't explain. Just sign. And he does. Right there. On that cream couch. Under those lights. His signature scrawling across the papers that end 8 years of my life. I take the envelope back. Tuck it under my arm. Thank you, I say. Not to him. To the camera. To the 50,000 people watching at home. To every person who's ever been cheated on, taken for granted, used up and tossed aside like yesterday's trash. And remember, folks, trash takes itself out. Sometimes it just needs a little push. I walk off the set, heels clicking, head high. The applause starts slow, then builds. By the time I'm through the curtain, it's thunderous. Sandra, the producer, is standing there with her mouth open. "That was incredible television," she whispers. "That was justice," I say. "That was 3 months ago." The video went viral. Of course it did. Woman serves divorce papers to cheating husband on live TV is exactly the kind of content the internet lives for. Within 24 hours, it had 5 million views. Within a week, 20 million. By the end of the month, it was everywhere. TikTok duets, Twitter threads, Instagram reels, even local news stations picked it up for their "What's Trending" segments. I became a meme, a hero, a cautionary tale, depending on who you asked. Team Jade versus Team Marcus debates raged in comment sections. Relationship coaches used me as a case study in their YouTube videos. Someone made a remix of the confrontation, set to Beyoncé's Irreplaceable. It got 3 million likes. The day after it happened, I called in sick to work. Not because I regretted it. Because I needed to sleep for 14 hours straight. The kind of sleep you fall into when your body finally realizes the war is over and it can stop being on guard. When I woke up, my phone had 847 notifications. I turned it off, made coffee, sat in my kitchen now, in my house, and just breathed. It felt like emerging from underwater. Like that first gasp of air after holding your breath too long. Marcus's business took a hit. Not a fatal one. Turns out people care about good marketing more than they care about infidelity, but enough of a hit that he had to issue a public apology and promise to do better. Ashley quit, moved to another city, posted something vague on Instagram about learning and growing. I don't follow her, don't care what she's doing. She was just the symptom, not the disease. The divorce finalized 2 weeks ago. I got the house, the one I paid most of the mortgage on anyway. Marcus got his business and a reputation that'll follow him for years. Fair trade, in my book. Linda sent me a bottle of champagne with a card that read, "To the most satisfying case of my career, you're a legend." I drank it alone in my kitchen, standing in my steel-toed boots, and it tasted like freedom. My inbox exploded. Interview requests, podcast invitations, people wanting to know my story and what's next, and how I found the courage. I turned most of them down. This wasn't about becoming famous, it was about taking back control. But I did one interview, a podcast called Blueprints for Life, hosted by a woman who used to be a carpenter. We talked about building things, breaking things, knowing when a structure is too damaged to repair. It felt right. Real. "Do you regret it?" she asked. "The public way you did it?" I thought about it. Really thought about it. "No," I said. Marcus built his whole life on image, on looking good, on being seen as the good guy, so I used that. I took the tool he valued most and turned it back on him. That's not revenge, that's just smart. She laughed. "You're cold." "I'm practical," I corrected. "There's a difference." Work is good. My coworkers treated me like a hero for about 2 weeks, then went back to treating me like normal, which is what I wanted. I'm still welding. Still torching through steel and building things that'll last. I'm seeing someone new. Nothing serious. A guy named Derek who teaches high school physics and thinks my job is the coolest thing in the world. He asked me on our 3rd date why I work with metal. "Because metal is honest," I said. "It does what it's supposed to do. It doesn't lie. It doesn't pretend to be something it's not. You heat it, it bends. You cool it, it sets. There's no deception." "Unlike people," he said. "Unlike some people," I agreed. He kissed me then. It was nice. Simple. No complications. No hidden agendas. I'm not rushing into anything. I'm learning to trust again, but slowly. Carefully. Like welding a delicate joint, too much heat and you burn through, too little and it doesn't hold. My therapist, yeah, I got a therapist, even welders need maintenance, says I'm doing great. Processing trauma in healthy ways. Setting boundaries. All that good stuff. Her name is Dr. Patricia Kim. She's in her 60s, has a PhD in psychology, and once told me she became a therapist after her own divorce. "I wanted to help people avoid my mistakes," she said, "but also help them survive when avoidance isn't possible." Our sessions happen every Tuesday at 4 p.m. She has a corner office with plants that actually stay alive. which I find impressive. There's a couch, not cream-colored, thank God, and she sits across from me in a chair that looks comfortable but probably costs more than my monthly car payment. "Do you feel vindicated?" she asked in our last session. I thought about it. Really thought about it. Because vindicated suggests I needed external validation, suggests I did it to prove something to him or to the world or to myself. "I feel free," I said. "There's a difference." She nodded, made a note. "Talk to me about that difference." Vindicated means I won something, like it was a competition. But this wasn't about winning, it was about... I paused, searching for the right words. In welding, you measure precisely. You calculate stress points, you understand materials. I needed that same precision here. It was about taking up space, I finally said. About refusing to disappear just because it was easier for him. About showing up as myself, loud, angry, done, instead of the version of me he wanted. The quiet one. The supportive one. The one who never made waves. And I do. Free from the weight of pretending. Free from making excuses for someone else's choices. Free from being the strong, silent support beam while someone else takes all the credit. The video still circulates. Every few weeks it pops up again with a new caption. Queen energy. This is how you handle a cheater. Iconic behavior. I don't read the comments anymore. Some people think I'm a hero, some think I'm cruel, some think it was staged. Let them think what they want. I know what it was. It was me, taking up space. Me, refusing to be quiet. Me, showing Marcus and everyone watching that the boring wife with welding scars could be the most interesting person in the room when she needed to be. Last week, I got a DM on Instagram from a woman I've never met. She said she was in a marriage where she felt invisible, and watching my video gave her the courage to leave. She thanked me. I cried reading it. Not sad tears. Proud tears. If one person found strength in my mess, then maybe it was worth it. Marcus tried to contact me once, about a month after the divorce. A text? "I'm sorry, I know I messed up. Can we talk?" I blocked the number. What's there to talk about? You can't weld a crack back together once the metal's compromised. You cut out the damaged section and start fresh. So that's what I'm doing. Starting fresh. I'm taking that trip to Japan next spring, by myself. I'm gonna visit temples and eat real ramen and maybe even take a metalworking class in Tokyo because why not? I'm 41 years old and I'm done putting my dreams on hold for anyone else. The house is mine. The life is mine. The future is mine. And Marcus is just a chapter that's closed. A weld that didn't hold. A structure that looked good on the outside but had no foundation. People ask me if I'm bitter, if I hate him. The answer is no. I don't have the energy for hate. Hate is heavy, and I've spent 8 years carrying heavy things. I'm not better. There's this thing in welding called a witness mark. A scar left on metal that shows where work was done, where heat was applied, where something was built or repaired. My heart has witness marks. My life has witness marks. But they're proof of survival, not failure. So here's what I want you to take from this. Don't be afraid to walk away from what's killing you. Don't be afraid to make some noise. Don't be afraid to use whatever tools you've got, even if that tool is a live TV broadcast and a manila envelope full of divorce papers. Your life is yours. Your happiness is yours. And if someone's stealing that, taking it for granted, treating you like you're just a supporting character in their story, hand them the consequences. On live TV if that's what it takes. Make it spectacular, because you deserve to be the main character in your own damn life. Drop a comment below. Tell me, what would you have done in my shoes? And if you're the one quietly holding everything together while someone else shines, this is your sign. You deserve more. You deserve everything. And yeah, you're allowed to take up space. Remember, trash takes itself out. Sometimes it just needs a little push. Now go be spectacular.